back to my channel. It's your girl Rhoda Femi. Please click on the subscribe button if you're yet to subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to grow my channel consciously and deliberately now, and I need the numbers. From the title of this video, you can already know what I am about to talk about. In my last video, I talked about how my coming videos would be about giving more insights into how living in Canada has been for me, you know, in the past 1 year. This video is for newbies coming into Canada, whether as students or permanent residents. You would find helpful and useful tips in this video on how to settle in, you know, for maybe like 6 months or more into Canada. Of course, I'll be speaking based on personal experience and experience from people that, you know, close to me and that I know. So without wasting much of your time, let's go straight into the video. You need a lot of money considering. So the first thing I wanted to say is congratulations on getting your study visa or your study permits or your PR or your work permits or whatever it is that is the document that you're using to, you know, come into Canada. You've taken this bold decision, and I hope that all of your time and your stay here in Canada would be worth the while. Before you arrive out, although I expect that you already know this, but I'm just going to reiterate should you not already have known this. So the first thing is get your money. Like, you need a lot of money, especially if you're in Nigeria. You need a lot of money considering the exchange rates at this point in time. You need money for your rent, you need money for your tuition, you need allowance for transportation, for feeding, for even clothing, because sometimes when people come here, they're not able to wear some of those clothes that, you know, they brought with them from Nigeria or from wherever. So you need money. I know a lot of people always ask if they can, you know, get into Canada and work for their tuition, because that people say, oh, it's possible for you to get, you know, a job and you can pay for your second semester tuition. Honestly speaking, I don't know if to debunk this, but I'm going to just tell you the sad truth. The sad truth is, I would rather say you cannot, right? Because it can be hard to get a job when you first land in Canada. Like, it's possible that 3 months into Canada, you've not gotten a job. Except, of course, you want to do menial jobs. It is better for you to have allowance that can cover up to 6 months. Also, I'm saying this because sometimes some of these menial jobs, even you need to get some certifications, right? So say you want to even work in the kitchen, maybe as a cook, right? Maybe you're a chef and, you know, you want to work in the capacity of a cook, or you want to even wash plates, or, you know, something as little as that. I hear that you need to get some certifications, like a certification that satisfies that you can be in the kitchen, like you can handle being in the kitchen where, you know, edibles are. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So it's not that when you come today, you're getting a job tomorrow. No, except, of course, you're a global talent and that's what brought you here. It's different. So get your allowance that can cover up to 6 months at the most. I'm confident that in 6 months you would have, you know, been able to get something, or within that time you'd have been able to get some certifications that can help you get, you know, good job. So get your money. That's what I would say. So before arrival, get your money, get your food as much as possible, especially if you're like me, that your taste bud is just so used to the Nigerian delicacies and you don't like to try new delicacies. Yeah, there are Nigerian kitchen, there are Nigerian stores where you can get Nigerian products and food items, but in terms of price, I wouldn't even say that they're pricey, but, you know, they're not just available everywhere. Some people travel all the way from, you know, one city to go to African stores or black owned stores to get some black food items. You will not get them in the regular stores like your Dofrills, your Walmart, your Freshco, stores like that. So yes, get your food as many as you can. Get your clothes, as many as you can. You can get some winter jackets. You can order these things from Shein, from Fashion Nova, so you don't get here and then the money you're supposed to use for baby feeding or rent or things like that, you're using it to buy clothes. So buy them before you come and then come. When you get to the airport, 3 important things that you need to do, especially as a student. Number 1 is get your study permit. Your study permit is what you use to register for your SIN. Study permit is what you will get first. You shouldn't cross over to the exit doors or the exit points at the airport without your study permit. I'm not even sure it's possible for you to do that, but the first thing you need to do the moment you arrive is get your study permit, and make sure that you read all of the details in your study permit. Ensure that your names are correctly spelled. Ensure that your passport number is correct. There are no omission whatsoever. Just ensure that the details are correct. And because if there's anything, you are able to speak with the officials there and rectify it before you now get in. When you're done with that, you will get your SIM card. Your SIM card, you will get it there. There are a lot of telecommunication networks here, so you can get either of them, and you find their stores at the airport. To get that, also get your SIN. SIN is your social insurance number. It's the Nigerian National Identification Number. Yes, it's the equivalent of the NIN in Nigeria. It's peculiar to you, it's your identity. It's very important. You shouldn't give that number out to anybody unless your employer, of course, and maybe when you want to open banks. Yes, not maybe, yes, when you want to open your bank account. It's very important. It's peculiar to you. Don't expose it. Don't give it to random people. When you get calls, because they are fraudsters in Canada, and sometimes they call you and they want to get this information, don't give out your SIN to anybody. The next thing, when you settle in, right, open a bank account. You can do that like the next day. If the next day is not a weekend, you can do that the next day. Get into any of the banks, any of the regular financial institutions, CIBC, RBC, TD. Just open a bank account where you can save up your money. I'm sure a lot of people would want to come with the popular USD. At the airport, you might be able to change your notes, but I think the bank rates are better. I didn't have to exchange mine at the counter. I just had to deposit it using the ATM machine, and I got my balance in CAD equivalent. Yes, if you get to the airport and you want to exchange, it's fine, but personally I didn't do that. I bought my SIM with USD, but I got it at the equivalent of CAD. I also paid my Uber using the dollar notes. So yes, but it's possible for you to change it at the airport. If you want to do that, it's good for you. When you open a bank account, next thing you want to do is get familiar with the map, because you go too lost. You are gonna get misplaced. Like, moving around, finding your way is a lot of work. Although my experience with the map and moving around was very seamless, was very good. Not that I didn't get confused at some points, not that I didn't miss my bus stations at some points. I did, but maybe just once or twice. It didn't happen many times, just once or twice. You need the map to go everywhere. Like, even if you know your way, you need the map, especially if you do not drive. Like, if you don't drive, I don't drive, so yeah, I needed the map to know when the bus will be arriving, just to time myself so I get to the bus station at the set time, or at a good time, so I don't miss the bus. Also, you need to know where to get down, like your next stop, and you just need to navigate your way around. You need to study it. Like, I'm saying this because my friend and my roommate Busayo, I experienced like back to back. She was just missing, so I don't want you guys to have the experience. Get familiar with the map. Study it like you study a book. You can't move around without a Presto card. Your Presto card is a bus card that you use in tapping in and tapping out in most cases on the bus. So you need to buy your card, load it, $50, $100, $150, $200, depending on your capacity. So you need to load it, because without that, you'll not be able to get on the bus, and that means you will not be able to move around, except you want to use an Uber. Of course, you can, if you have the money, you can use Uber. Then you want to get acquainted with job search apps like Indeed, Glassdoor, Upwork, Staffy, and a host of them like that. you want to also tailor your CV the Canadian way, because it's a Canadian way, and the Canadian way is short and simple. Like I'm going to put it up here so that you can tailor your CV in that way. They don't need too much story. They don't need to know whether you're a Christian or a Muslim. They don't need to know whether you're a female or a male. They don't need to know your birthday. They don't need to know if you're 30. They don't need to know if you're 29. They don't need to know, like, I feel like the only person that is all up in your business is the visa officer. But now you have your visa, so you don't need to put all of this information on your CV. They don't need to know all those things. Just be simple and short and concise. You want to just put your main achievements, maybe in numbers, in clear adjectives. That will humble you. So get down from your IELTS. Typically when you're coming tonight, like, let your expectations, especially regarding job, be lowered. Like, let it be lowered. So if you want to get a job ASAP, of course, if you're open to doing menial jobs, yes, you can do all these things. But again, you need some certifications in some instances. It's not for everybody, right? Because some people will not buy thrifts, they will not wear thrifts. But as much as possible, you want to cut down on your expenses, because you don't know when you'll be getting a job, right? Even that menial job, you don't know when you'll be getting it. You can buy thrifts, your furniture, you can make use of Facebook markets, you can make use of Value Village. There are a couple of thrift stores here in Canada where you can buy things from. You can also buy things from Shein, from Fashion Nova. They are not so pricey, right? But they are good things. And then the last one I would say would be always ask questions. In my language, as a Yoruba babe, Yoruba people will say abere, any bere no kulesonu. When you ask for directions, you almost cannot get lost. There's a guarantee that you arrive at your destination safely and timely. And remember that direction is more important than speed. Always ask questions. The person sitting beside you in class, in church, might have answers to the questions that you're asking. So always ask questions. As much as possible too, you need to open up to people, because networking will give you things that you desire. So always ask questions. I hope that this video has been able to help 1 or 2 persons out there. You can also share this video to your friends, your family members, your sisters, your brothers that are new to Canada. And if you are already in Canada, you can tell me in the comment section what being a newbie was like for you. Was it good? Did you find it easy? Were you already used to some things before you came? Were you not? Was it hard for you? Just anything in the comment section. Keep me engaged, guys. Till I see you next week. Be good. Bye, guys.